You made a decision today. Maybe it felt obvious. Maybe it felt like pure logic, but somewhere between the question and the answer, something else was involved, something you never gave credit to. Your gut. Not as a metaphor. The actual organ in your abdomen has its own nervous system. 500 million neurons, more than your entire spinal cord. Scientists call it the second brain. And it doesn't just digest food. It talks to your actual brain, constantly sending more signals upward than it receives. Most of the time, your brain listens more than it speaks. Here's the part that stops people cold. Your gut produces about 95% of the serotonin in your body. That's the chemical tied to your mood, your calm, your sense that things are okay. Almost none of it lives in your skull. It lives below your ribs. So when something feels off and you can't explain why, that unsettled, wordless feeling, it isn't weakness. It isn't anxiety being dramatic. It's your second brain sending you a message you haven't learned to read yet. Michael Gershon at Columbia University spent decades proving the gut was far more than a digestive tube. John Cryan at University College Cork went further. He showed that the bacteria living inside your gut directly influence how anxious you feel, how socially open you are, and how your brain responds to stress. In one study, mice raised with zero gut bacteria were more fearful, more withdrawn, and less able to cope with pressure. When researchers gave them microbiota from calmer mice, their behavior shifted. The bacteria changed who they were. Not completely, but measurably. That result has never stopped being haunting. Think about your own life for a moment. You've walked into a room and felt something was wrong before you saw a single reason for it. You've trusted someone you couldn't justify, or felt uneasy about someone perfectly friendly. You've made a decision that logic approved, but your stomach quietly rejected. That's not irrational. That's your enteric nervous system doing what it was built to do. Reading chemical signals, emotional cues, and environmental feedback faster than your conscious mind can assemble a single coherent thought. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio called this the somatic marker effect. Your body tags every significant experience with a physical sensation, a tightening, a release, a weight. When a similar situation shows up later, your body responds before your memory does. The feeling arrives before the reasoning. You think you're in the middle of deciding. You're actually catching up to a conclusion your gut reached several seconds ago. This system is ancient. It evolved hundreds of millions of years before human reasoning existed. When something moved in the grass, your ancestor didn't pause to analyze it. They felt the danger and moved. The ones whose guts were fast and accurate survived long enough to become your family. That speed, that wiring, that pre-verbal alarm system, it's inside you right now. You use it every single day without knowing it. The problem is that the world changed faster than your biology could follow. Your gut is still running ancient software in a modern environment. It responds to a tense email the same way it once responded to a predator. It reads a stranger's face in milliseconds and files a judgment you'll never consciously see. Useful? Absolutely. Perfectly calibrated for 2024? Not always. But here's what actually matters. The gut isn't fixed. What you eat, how you sleep, how much unresolved stress you carry in your body, all of it reshapes the microbiome, which reshapes your mood, your instincts, your baseline sense of whether the world is safe. Researcher Felice Jacka at Deakin University showed that dietary patterns directly affect mental health outcomes, not just through calories, but through the living ecosystem of bacteria that maintain a constant chemical dialogue with your brain. You can change that conversation, not through willpower or positive thinking, through how you actually live, what you put in your body, how much rest you allow, how often you let yourself be still enough to hear what you're already feeling. So, the next time a decision feels settled before you've consciously worked through it, pay attention.